Hey, Ovalsan here. Yesterday with the Owl House season 2A mid-season finale, Yesterday's Lies. It shows that what people are calling Creepy Connie is actually called V, a basilisk, something that's been resurrected, and seems to seems to be filling in for Luz since she was kind of went wayward, not going to say to Camp Reality Check. But in all due respect, that place sounds more like a bad idea than it sounds. Even if V is showing the form that Luz could have been. But Luz was been testing the door and let's just say it only resulted in a pocket dimension with it being a between the demon realm and Earth. Now, it can only be an observant room. Now, V is trying to find some magic to maintain her disguise, although she made some friends that Lou seems to be afraid of. Although it did lead her to a historical society of Luz's town, Grimfield. Now, there had been a few statues but the local legend said a witch had, banished, two brothers into the demon realm. Now, one is Philip, but could the other one be Bellows? Now, that's probably something that's probably in plain sight. When we saw what seems to be a statue of them. No details on who they were meant to be. But I think that event may have a inspiration in the good witch Azola. And some kind of nut that's meant to be a curie that trapped Luz trapped V. And well, let's just say he half right. But I don't think we see the last of him after Camilla rescued her. And rescue V, although she did handle it well when she realized Luz is not making this up. Now, about what's been presented to those that watched it. Now, one's holding a book. I assume that's Bellows, which he was meant to be a scholar and probably the founder of the school system Luz goes to. While Philip seems to be a poet that's trying to find inspiration, and I think the witch in question probably was his muse. Kind of fell in love and rest sister. But I think there'd probably be a love triangle out of jealousy and prejudice, which caused the burning, and thus with scenes beyond his control, trapped him in there and had no choice but to go in after them. But I think that author is using the Weatherbean name as a author alias. which most of us do. But but he but the question is, how well, I assume Luce at one of the photos is when she is the photo when she was soon 5 or 6, so she could have been so she could be born below. Okay, now 19, 17, 16, 15. So she got into it in 2014, so she must be born in sometime after 2010. But I think that's what most of us could assume by now. Now here's one last thing. If the author ever comes here for a sign drive, I suppose he or she can help in some way or form. I don't think she's gonna believe it right away. But I think those that Luce met, that V met, may play a part in it. Now about the older girl in the first episode, where Luce ended up taking part in like the audition for Romeo and Juliet and the cheerleading tryout. I think she could in some way or form get in the way, and may hide a bigger truth that she may not be aware of from her own family or their reputation in the town. That's all I can say for now. Take a moment to process this and tell me what you think in the comments. Like, subscribe for more. Oval and out.